Morning! Wow! Ganda ng place nyo, ah! My gosh! Morning! Wow! Paa na lang, no? I'll take out the slippers. Hello, my gosh! This is what you meant. So, this is Coleen's new paradise. It's now...
Amari's paradise.
How old is he now?
He is turning 2 this September.
Oh, you're so adorable. You're so adorable.
And he wants to make patin.
Boy. How long do you intend to breastfeed?
Well, my goal initially was 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It's almost 2 years now, so
Yeah.
I just have to push for another year.
You really want 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because,
pero you're not weaning him.
well, I mean, he still drinks so much.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And you produce so much.
I guess because I never pumped.
You know what's great today? Unlike yung older generations, diba? Parang ang breastfeeding, we wouldn't see it openly.
Yes,
Remember,
yes.
yung mga panahon ng nanay natin, I
More
think
conservative.
more conservative.
Yeah.
Even now, when I first became a mom, parang people wouldn't really show they were breastfeeding. It wasn't out in the open.
Yes.
And now, you're so proud of it in Instagram, because I follow you. Talagang pinapakita ni Coleen, she's
Because I really want to
breastfeeding.
normalize it, you know, because like especially like ako in my career, so many times I've had to show my body, you know, I've had to wear bikini. Although as much as possible during that phase in my life, I try to avoid doing it for like men.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wanted to do it for other women, right? Or for myself, diba? So this is just another phase in my life where I'm trying to embrace my body as well.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, as long as he needs milk, then why would you give him cow's milk if you can give him, you know, the milk that's intended for the baby?
Oh, and let's face it, breast milk is really best for babies.
Yes.
And how has it changed you?
Ako, para sa akin, breastfeeding is really the most selfless thing I've ever had to do. It's not just the act of like, you know, lending your body for the entire 2 years.
Yeah.
Pero hindi ako makaalis, I can't go anywhere kasi hanggang ngayon, gumigising-gising pa rin siya sa gabi. So he does not sleep through the night. We chose to not sleep train. So, oh my gosh, hindi ko mabibilang kung ilang beses pa siya nagigising sa gabi, but it's always for milk. And there are days na parang gusto ko na lang sumigaw in frustration.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very draining kasi when I gave birth and I first started breastfeeding, parang sobra ako nade-drain. Like my lips were so dry, and then I felt literally like the life was being sucked out of me.
When you and Billy got married, you were, I would have to say, at the peak of your career. How did that change?
Well, okay, I'll start this by saying there are people who will say na you can do it all. And I guess you can to some degree, but you will always end up sacrificing something, you
Agree.
know? And I thought, you know, I listened to those people. You can do all of it, but with the kind of mom I want to be to Amari, I can't do all of it. I'd have to sacrifice either time with him, or I would have to sacrifice a bit of my career. Iba-iba tayong mga parents eh. But since I'm breastfeeding him and we don't pump and we don't use bottles, we never use bottles with Amari.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talaga.
We never use bottles. with
Purist.
Amari. Yeah,
Purist pala to.
So I can't leave him. Literally his source of food and his source of milk. So I can't leave him.
What did you have to sacrifice or give up when you decided to be a full-time committed hands-on mom?
I wouldn't say give up completely, pero definitely lumiit siya in my life. The capacity became so much smaller. Pero yung personal life ko and yung career life ko, and I don't think it's just because of becoming a mom and because of being a breastfeeding mom, but because of the pandemic. Yung parang you just choose to be safe na lang. Kasi nakakatakot eh. Tuwing lalabas ka, parang the anxiety is there.
What's it like being married now to Billy for 4 years?
I really feel like I'm living my dream come true. Kasi it's always been one of my dreams, my goals. Even before I met Billy, na kasi my parents are separated. I didn't really grow up in the happiest childhood. So it's always been, my goal, my number one goal, my number one dream to have a family, to be married, to have children. And now that I'm living it, and sometimes may mga may mga iba akong hinahanap, like syempre my career, my personal life, and everything. I just remind myself I'm living in my dream right now, and everything else will follow. I feel like, maybe my career won't be the same as it used to be, but that's where it gets exciting because I can turn it into something different.
Talk about just how much Billy means to you and what he's done in your own life.
Well, Billy has given me the confidence I never had. And they say you shouldn't get that from other people. I know, but like he motivates me. He reminds me of who I am when I forget. And there have been times kasi na syempre we're in different relationships, and sometimes other relationships can be toxic, or even if those relationships are family or friends, diba? Oh my gosh! Amari. Oh, yes. Can you get your can you get your orange basketball? Give it to mommy.
Paano mo naman kasi iiwan yan? Ang hirap rin iwan.
Yes, give it to mommy.
Oo. Yeah.
He's getting it, yeah. Oh.
Oo.
But with Billy, like he's always just spoken life over me. He's
Nice.
always thank you. Thank you.
Billy's always spoken life over you.
Yes, what your partner says to you, it will really affect the way you think because you're with that person all the time, diba? And sometimes there are people na you didn't realize there's something bad about you or something na would make you insecure, and it takes just one person to point that out. And with Billy, like he's never done that to me. He's never said anything bad to me ever.
Oh,
throughout our whole
my
relationship.
gosh.
He's never said one bad thing to me. Even when I have said bad things. Kasi the saying na hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, since I'm scarred in many ways, like sometimes the way I talk hurts because I've been spoken to like that all my life. So I'm still trying to unlearn these things. But when we fight, sometimes I wouldn't curse at him or whatever. But like I would say some things that are true, but they're painful. Like there's a better way of saying them. And with him, he's just never like that.
Did you know right away it was Billy?
I mean, when he started at Showtime, no. Not at all.
Diba? You
He was
don't
the
miss
last person.
Showtime.
I mean, I guess we miss the camaraderie
Yeah.
and being there. And I miss siguro being on a daily show, but at the same time, I don't because, it depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah.
And ako, my relationships in real life really mattered so much. And I missed so many weddings. I missed so many binyags and so many. It's a commitment. Yeah, and so many people are willing to make that commitment. But for me, like, I can't see myself doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
Missing trips, missing important events. This is who I am. And this is what matters to me.
This is what amazes me nga. The house is so beautiful and pinanindigan ni Coleen and Billy. It's a playpen. The house is a playpen. Look, there's a beautiful sculptor out, diba? A sculpture
That's done by
outside.
Jeffrey.
Oh,
Jeffrey.
yeah, he's famous, yung Filipino.
Yeah, the one that did the Mega Mall.
Sanay na siya sa akin, you see? Sanay na siya. Pero I was gonna say lang, look how beautiful this place is. Binili niyo to almost ganito na or complete renovation?
We renovated a lot, like even the floor.
Oo, ang ganda.
Thank you.
Super. And look outside, oh.
You can step outside if you want.
Let's go. Oh, Billy, let's go here. I love this part.
Yes.
This is your lanay. But it's so
Yes.
beautiful.
I got that as a present for Billy because he requested that. I think it was for a birthday or something, or anniversary.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, he just wants to open and close the
Okay,
doors.
okay, of course. I get you. Let him.
Ayan, yeah, okay.
Open, close, yeah.
This is our, nakatambak yung boxing stuff namin. Kasi sometimes we move all of this furniture and then
And
we
then you box here. Oo.
And then this plant, we just placed these plants here because it's rainy season.
Yeah, but so beautiful, this area. this whole mood.
But yeah, sorry, we didn't fix the house. So, ganun siya.
Alam mo, yun ang gusto ko. This is the house tour
Yeah,
that's
hindi
completely
ka kaayos.
authentic at tunay na tunay. Ako na.
Oh my gosh, di nga kami nag-house tour yun.
O, di ba? Oh, and this part here, ang ganda nito.
Yeah, so this is very ideal for Amari.
Yeah.
And then, ayun, this is our mat.
Yeah.
These are our mats for when we're boxing. Ito, when we went kasi to La Union, may swing yung isang pinuntahan
Ang ganda
namin.
nito, oo.
So the owner, he gifted us with this piece of
Beautiful.
wood. And then we
Oo.
bought this so that may swing kami dito. So it
Yeah.
goes really far.
This is
house.
such a beautiful
Thank
property.
you.
Really, I mean it. Look at this. Look at the second
Yeah.
floor. Oh. You have windows sa hallway.
But this one's what I really like. That.
Yeah. What
So,
do you call that? That's a skylight.
Yeah. So,
It comes in the house.
yeah, but when we were here, it was raining.
Yeah.
So it was a really cozy feeling. It wasn't like the sun was coming in or anything, but we felt the rain. Like you could almost feel it.
Yeah.
Because nga, the skylight is just right there. It's in the middle of the house. So that's when I was like, wow, this house is something else.
I
love
love
it. And then we walked in the masters and everything. I was like, okay, this is the house. This is the one.
What kind of a wife are you?
Oh.
No. Amazing. You said also on his Instagram. Yes. Oo.
Yes, that's your basketball.
Yeah.
Red and black. Show Miss Karen.
Cute. Right. So what kind of a wife are you?
I would say, ano ba? It's so hard when it's coming from me. Supportive.
That's
I'm
one.
supportive. I'm not jealous, for sure. Oh, you're more jealous.
Mas seloso. Ano si Coleen bilang ina? Kasi talagang nagbago ang buhay mo.
Yes.
Yun.
Yes. I mean, I can't put it into words because I feel like you can't just box in din kasi, you know, someone with just words, you know, like hands-on, ang daming ways to be hands-on, ang daming ways to be a loving, a caring mom. Siguro with Amari,
But it strikes me, motherhood is your ultimate joy. Do you see it that this was the whole purpose? This was your calling in some way?
oh, well, I definitely have always wanted to be a mom. And now that I'm a mom, I'm so happy. I wouldn't rewind, I wouldn't fast forward. Like it's the first time, I guess, in my whole life that I'm just so happy being in the now.
I wanted to ask you that Amari contributed to your healing and making you whole.
For sure. I mean, really, like they always say kasi na you should be whole and you should be healed and you should be like in your perfect human state before you have a husband or before you find the right person, before you have a family and everything. But I really think it's a continuous process, you know, yung healing and becoming whole. So with Billy and with Amari, like, I wouldn't say I knew myself completely. And I think at this point, I'm still discovering who I am.
Yeah.
I'm still discovering what I'm capable of. And so I think it's a lie na kailangan buo ka na as a person before you have a family or before you get married. I guess it would be better if you know who you are. But I don't know, giving birth kasi, and I am sure a lot of moms can relate to that, but giving birth, I lost who I was completely. So it doesn't matter kung buo ka kasi mawawala din lahat. It's gonna be wiped clean then when you give birth.
Do you want to have other kids? More kids?
You know what? We were talking about this before, and gusto namin mga apat, my mom wants me to have 6. And then after Amari, when Amari was born, Billy showed me Amari, and I was still delivering the placenta. And Billy said, "Love," he had tears in his eyes. He was like, "Love, look, it's our son." Tapos sabi ko, "Say hello to your only child."
So yun na yun.
No, okay. Oh, I want one more. Sana it's a girl. But, like, sana 2 na lang eh.
Oo, kasi
Sana 2 na lang.
number 1 yun. Well,
Yeah.
other than the work is your normal birth.
Yeah.
Right? And did you do it without epidural?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, upstairs lang.
Napaka-purist talaga. Dito ka nanganak.
Upstairs lang, yes.
What was
I wouldn't
that
have had
like?
it any other
This
way.
is what ang tawag doon, water birth.
Yes, yes. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it's the best.
Iba
Ako,
ka.
I would do it again. I mean, sana I can do it like that in the hospital, which was my ideal naman. Gusto ko naman talaga ganon in the hospital, and they have it. But, you know, because of the pandemic, everything,
Yeah.
like, they didn't have it in the
No,
hospital
pero ang
during that
hirap
time.
rin nung walang epidural, ah.
I wouldn't do it any other way. Like, I
Talaga?
wouldn't do an epidural the next time. Yeah.
This is our kitchen, which I'm sorry, it's such a mess right now because obviously
My God, ang ganda. Look how beautiful.
we had to move. We had to move everything here because of my dad. My dad
Yeah.
was here, so he was in a wheelchair and he was on a walker. So I needed the space, so I had to move everything
What
here.
is your dad's condition today? Other than, of course, old age.
Yeah, papatong-patong na.
Oo.
He has coumadin levels, which is his blood is so thin
Yeah.
that it's kind of like waterish na. So every time na masugatan siya, even just a small scratch like that, it just won't stop bleeding. So the normal max coumadin levels is 5.5.
Yeah.
My dad, day before yesterday, was 10.5.
Oh my God.
So it's way over the max that he can have.
Napaka-emotional yung post mo when you were so grateful that your dad met your son.
Yeah, I mean, that was my biggest dream. First was the marriage,
Yeah.
yung kami ni Coleen. And then, when God made that possible, alam naman mahiya tayo, we should ask for more, di ba?
Amen! Amen!
Yeah, and I prayed hard. At one point, I think last year, Christmas, we wanted to go back home. So sabi ko, I'll just visit my dad na lang para
Yeah.
hindi sagabal. Take Amari there with Coleen and everything. Push comes to shove, the prices were almost 1.2, 1.3 at that time. And I can't really spend that much for at least 5 days with just being with my dad. Tapos sinasagip kasi yung isang mata niya. The other one's completely gone na. He overcame throat cancer. He had,
Wow!
I think 4 operations na, 4 bypasses.
And
para his heart.
you were very close to your dad
Oh
growing
yeah,
up.
most definitely.
Talagang ano
I was a
ka?
daddy's boy regardless.
Daddy's boy
Yeah,
kaya.
yeah.
You and Coleen have a closer relationship with the Lord.
Yes.
And I see that. How did that change you?
I completely. It was a complete 180 turn.
Talaga?
I was addicted to alcohol. You know, my alcoholism was something else. I was going to Showtime drunk. Sometimes pag after ASAP, diretso bahay, inom. It was a good time, to be
Yeah,
honest with
yeah,
you. It was a great
yeah.
time. Pero it was starting to affect me as a person. It was starting to affect my judgment. It was starting to affect my work. It was starting to affect kung sino talaga ako. And when, I guess the difference between Coleen kasi was she was never forceful. Parang ang reverse psychology lang ginawa nito, parang binaligtad na lang. You do whatever you want. Yung ganun. Parang ako na yung, hindi, I'm too tired. Ayoko nang uminom. I hate the feeling, the hangover feeling after, the headaches, the restlessness, the fatigue, etc., etc. Nakaka-apekto sa trabaho when you're interviewing someone. You're not really up
Absolutely.
here,
Yeah,
di ba? So I said, that's the first step. When I got arrested, when I went through the whole shebang here in the Philippines, other places in the world, etc. When we tied the knot, kasi muntik naman hindi talaga matuloy yung wedding namin because we were going through a lot that time. And then nung natuloy, I think that's when God made a big visual, how do you say this, premonition for me. Because like I saw a happy family, I saw my dad and my mom get here, which I prayed so hard for.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said, okay, I surrender. Ako, wala na. Kung magagawa,
I'm
wala na
so
ako kasi.
touched. I'm so moved.
Yeah, wala na. It's like, you can't force what God is doing upon us. We just have to accept it, and we have to acknowledge that His presence is there, and we have that faith that we call. I don't want to waste my family. You know, I have a beautiful family. There's nothing else but good things ahead, but the trials and the stuff that kailangan namin pagdaanan, we'll still go through it, but alam namin na our strength with God is stronger than any other trials that we go through.
No, I was gonna say, you must feel so grateful and blessed because your life could have taken a different turn.
I would have been dead.
I would have been dead. Pero maraming artista po na sikat, di ba, na who lose it all because they're unable to control their own demons.
Yes.
They're unable to fight them.
Yep, and you can't.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, may mga tao talaga na susuko. They give in to temptation. They give in. Don't get me wrong. Lahat naman
Of
tayo
course.
nagkakasalanan.
Lahat tayo,
We all make mistakes, and I have sinned so many times, and I'm still sinning until this day. You know, so I can be a better father. I can be a better husband, but I can also be a better person. So, pero one step at a time. Hindi lang all together.
The new Billy. What don't your fans know about you? Because you're very strong on social media.
Yeah. I can, of course, I'm really vulnerable in real life. Like, you know, there are those days na hindi mo maiwasan na I compare myself to other people also.
Na-insecure ka pa.
Yeah, of course. There are those days. And I think it doesn't matter like how you look or what you have or
Yeah.
you know, because everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but if you're insecure, you're insecure. It doesn't matter how you look, doesn't matter, you know, and that's something, again, that stems all the way down, back to your childhood. So, if you were insecure growing up, if people conditioned you to be that way, then madadala mo talaga yan when you grow up. So,
And how do you fight it? I mean, you are one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful faces
Oh, thank
in the
you.
industry. I mean, physically and also, I would have to say, internally, you are.
Oh, thank
Pero
you.
how do you fight it?
God talaga. At the end of the day, you know who you are in God. You know who God created you to be. And He didn't create you to be mediocre. He didn't create you to be insignificant. And that's for everybody. It's not just me. It's not just you. It's everybody who's watching this. You know, you are loved. You are significant. You're valued. And you have to find that talaga. And it depends on where you root it. If you root it in things of this world, then you will never be satisfied.
Yeah. What is your life verse?
Oh my gosh, so many. But one that really sticks out to me is Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good.
Amen.
To save the lives of many people.
I love that.